Yes, family, friends, and loved ones, how are we doing? Just another day in the garden, another day in the garden of life, right? We are who we are, and we have to accept what's around us. And with that said, I want to talk about our passion for our true self. I say our passion for our true self because this is something that we don't really take, um, we don't really take initiative when it comes to being our true selves, right? We just allow life to unfold without having a lot of direction on who we are and where we're going, right? And sometimes we do allow ourselves to go in the direction of our passion. And our passion is connected to parts of our true self. So I won't say we don't never get on the path of the true self because some of our passions take us on that path. But I want us to know that our passion, our love for ourselves is the true alignment to the true self. And I say the true self, but that is your higher self. That is the one with God within, right? And to become one with God, you have to understand that an earthly man won't be able to reach God, right? An earthly man has no idea of what God feels like, um, the vision of God. An earthly man looks at images of the Son of God and accepts it, right? When a spiritual man knows what God looks like when it looks in the mirror, it doesn't need to see the Son of God because it sees itself or sees herself as the highest form of God in the flesh. And this is when we're in alignment with our true selves and when we have the right amount of love for ourselves, right? These things we fail to do daily is love ourselves and appreciate our spiritual man from within and connect with the spiritual realm before we get off into this human experience. So, how do you choose your time that you spend that don't pay you on the hourly rate, right? I ask that question because a lot of us move differently when we are getting paid to do so, right? Would you say that? A lot of us move differently when we're being paid to do it compared to when we're not being paid, we're not moving with the same urgency or even in the same direction as the path ahead, right? There's always a path ahead of you. And we choose to take it or we choose to not take it based on what are we getting for it in return. And this is what is taken away from us. And I say taken away from us because when we don't receive something for the time that we use, then we unvalue the time that was put in, right? So things that like a prayer, chanting, um, meditation, these things physically don't give you anything back, right? In returns of money and form. But these three things allow you to receive more in your life spiritually that will be connected to the physical and human experience. And we have to understand that by doing so, by doing these rituals, and by addressing the spiritual man first, we are prioritizing and putting things in divine order. and allowing things to unfold in a divine way that leads us down the path of growth, leading us down the path of moving forward with our goals in life. And so when I say, when do we see, um, when do we see ourselves striving with God? Like we see ourselves striving with a job. You know, we see ourselves with a job, we get a paycheck, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm living big, I'm doing this, I got that, and you flexing, right? But when you're moving with God, you're not flexing that big. You're not feeling that same energy. If you're even moving with God, right? A lot of us is not moving with our God within us. We're normally fighting that God and normally putting that God under an amount of unwanted, unneeded stress on the body and mind, right? Because we don't want to be accountable for that God within us. We'd rather push it off and deal with these human experiences and these physical um, possessions to excite ourselves with the time that we have here. And that could be for you, right? That could be for you. But for most of us, I say, it's about aligning with your higher self and becoming one with God, and to see that what you give onto the world is what you receive, but also even more of it. And so a lot of us are sharing hate, jealousy, envy, greed, and we're receiving that in our lives to come forth, right? And we can't escape the feeling of being um, misused, unvalued, right? All these things come from how we see ourselves within and how we connect to the physical and the human experience more than we do with the spiritual man and our spiritual rituals. Because by being the spiritual man and doing your spiritual rituals, it puts you in divine order and alignment so you feel. So you feel connected. So you feel in alignment. And that is way more than being in the position that someone puts you in. Because that position that they put you in could be taken away from you and you could be replaced and put in a different position where you don't like, right? And you didn't choose. And then when you are put in a position that you don't like and you didn't choose, then you start to think, well, how are you going to get out that situation and what you're going to do? And here comes all the overthinking. Here comes the manipulation. Here comes the greed. Here comes the anger. Here comes all the emotions that you're putting in motion to get things going. And this is what catches us up. This is what trips us up at the feet. Is because the energy that we're putting out there towards ourselves and towards others doesn't match the alignment of the true self, right? The true self is always presenting itself in the present moment. And we either feel that or we neglect it and reject it. And that's off our choice. So when we do make the right decision and we are working with the spiritual man and we are practicing the spiritual rituals, we are in a position to receive more in a time matter that we don't know how to assess it. We don't know how to assess the time length that we are on when we're in the spiritual realm, because things happen at its own pace and it happens at its own speed to where you're not being told, hey, you're going to get this on the 14th or on the 1st. It's not like a paycheck. It's not like an exact date, an exact time that you can predict that you're going to get what you expected. right? It's not that. The spiritual realm, the spiritual rituals are done to know that you're in alignment and you're in divine timing. So exactly when you need it, or right before you do need it, you receive it and you make the right decisions with it so that it's in good use and it's used for purpose, right? It's not just used to entertain others with the power that you have to attract, right? Or to attract them towards you. And as you attract these people towards you, then you use your power to drain them, right? That's not the intentions of a true self, right? That is not the intentions of God in one with oneself. Because God in one with itself doesn't need to drain anything that's surrounding it. It actually amplifies what's around it and actually gives more abundance to everything around it. So that's when you know things are in the hands of God and not within your own decisions and your lower self. Do you ever find yourself in boredom? I ask that question because boredom is considered to be something that it's ineffective, right? It's something that's not getting the the job done or it's not getting you excited to do the job, right? Boring or boredom can lead you into making some wrong decisions, right? Because you're just so much in a rush to get back into things that you don't allow yourself to sit and reflect and receive. Because even when you sit, you can also receive, right? So my question to you is, where do boredom lead you? Okay, where do your boredom lead you? Do do it gives you any interest in going down a certain path or direction to find more interest in what you're thinking about, or does it bring you um, insights or information or wisdom on your next move or how to treat others? Boredom should lead you in a way to spending your time more effectively, right? It's all about being more effective with the time that you have because the time that you have and you put that energy towards it, it's going to produce from within the energy that you have projected. So if you have a goal from within that's positive or negative, no matter what it is, if you have a real focus on that goal, the energy that you put inside yourself is going to use that energy to project it outside yourself in what you have to present. And so that's why when you take in good energy and you're around good people and you're in the right settings, in the proper settings for your true self, then you are activated and you're given um, the permission to receive and to share the energy in that space that is calling for. And that's what we're here for. We're here to use our presence to uplift each other and use our presence to support each other and not be there to be judgmental or to be neglective or to be negative in that sense, right? We're not there for that. We are there to show others that if we combine our power and have, you know, um, when I say we combine our powers, when we combine the earthly man with the spiritual man, how much more can we get done, you know, as a collective? You're going to get a lot more done from an individual when you have in line your spiritual man in front of your earthly man. Um, you're going to benefit from that. But as a whole and as a group of people, when we are able to compound our energy and align them in a position that it uplifts others and it doesn't pull or drain others down to a level of the past or the level of the future that we manipulated to work in our favor and not in the overall collective favor, right? We're trying to push individuals into positions and places that it's not it's not it's not organic, meaning in the walk in the path that we all take. And the more that we walk in our organic path or our authentic selves, we will come together in a way that brings unity and unifies us to amplify at that present moment. So when we come together at that present moment, we feel the uplifting, the support. And I say that because I just experienced in this last month in traveling, uh, visiting family, right? And connecting with family and just being in the presence of family. And in this 2 weeks to a month that I've been around family members from all across the country, I definitely feel the support and the unity within myself, right? Because that was given to me from those family members that I was around. They gave me the energy and the feel of acceptance as for my true self and who I'm truly presenting myself to be, and not just the earthly man, right? And a lot of my elders and a lot of my peers and a lot of the younger generation accepted who I am in this present moment, and I accepted them, and it's a great feeling to know that we are all walking in a divine light and showing each other how to walk um, in our own divine light while sharing that light to allow others to see that not only do we support their goals and their situation, but we're also there to support, right? So it's up to you to be spiritually mature with yourself, right? To have this universal love for others and those that's around you. Or does it take you a crisis or some life changing situation for you to grow up and for you to grow a part of the universal love that we all share? So just think about that. Do you need something to come in your life and to change it up so much that you have to rely on others and you have to switch up your energy? Um, or do you see yourself just stepping into spiritual maturity and seeing that your responsibility with others are are all depending on how you think and see them to be, right? It's how you think and see someone to be that allows them to take that step forward, either in their life or in the collective situation, the collective environment. We can't hold each other down because the way we see each other for less than the value that they need to be for us to move forward in the present moment. We need everyone to be up to speed to form this unity that is required for us as a group of people on this earth to evolve into what we're evolving into, right? A lot of us might not know, but we are evolving or devolving and digressing in who we really are to be less than something. So, getting back to the true self, right? You you can use grounding methods to allow you to have a huge growth and to activate your spiritual man from within. And I say using grounding techniques because by connecting with the earth and the nature, it allows you to feel the vibration of the universe. And when connecting with the universe and feeling the vibration, you can now see the you can see where the alignment has to take place, right? You can see how your vibration has to be risen up to a certain level to meet the current situation. You're normally not in the current situation's frequency. You normally have to become aware and get in tune with that in the present moment. And it's something that we all can do and we all are capable of doing, but you just have to be willing to do it, right? You have to be willing to be patient with yourself and not to beat yourself up or to beat others up because of the situation at hand. This is a very sensitive matter um, in dealing with energy because one wrong spark can light a fire and it can burn everything down, right? It can destroy and be destructive in a way where it's not meant to be, right? Sometimes we have to burn things down to the ground to restart them, right? I understand that. But this spark that I mentioned about is the type of spark that is a negative spark that has an impact not only on your life, but the life to come forth. And we can't continue to have these bad sparks lead us down a road in the path where we don't understand who we are and what we are or what we're capable of, because in 2026 it's not going to allow us to stay on this particular planet by doing so that way. So we have to adjust, we have to become one with the true self and allow our passions to show the universe that we're here. We're here to put in the work. We're here to share the love. We're here to create and cultivate this new energy that require us to carry forth the life, the spiritual life that we have here, right? We can stay in this artificial world and eat all this artificial food and deal with all this artificial energy and entertainment. And it's going to keep us right here. And we're not going to feel the need to move forward. And that might be okay for some of you guys. And I'm not sure that all of us will be allowed that experience. I feel most of my uh, family, friends, and loved ones will have to go through the spiritual journey and will have to connect to their passion and to their true selves to get through this time period of life. With that said, I hope you have a lot of support moving forward in these next days to come. I hope you have a lot of prayer work that you're putting in for others in these next days to come. And I also wish, and not say wish, but I also recommend that you place yourself in an environment, in a space that allows you to grow, right? And by doing so, you might need to create that own space for yourself. You might need to get into nature and get your hands in the dirt, get your feet in the grass, just to get a feel for being connected to something. And once you do get connected back to the divine order and the divine way of things, then you'll find it much easier to get past the human experience and become a part of this living being that we all are as one. With that said, I say to all my family, friends, and lovers out there, stay tuned, stay putting in the work, and stay patient because the time is coming. I say.